Oh, there we go. I think we're good now, right?
No, we're not. Hold on. Okay, now we're good.
All right, let's see. Are we good, guys? I swear, man, every single time I do this, there's some kind of an issue, guys. Sorry about that. Are we good to go? Can you guys hear me? Yes! Welcome back, y'all. Let me get this right for you guys. I think the camera got moved a little bit. So, first off, I am so sorry, guys. Every time I jump onto a stream, it's either like the microphone's not working or the chat's not working. So, I really appreciate you guys sticking with me, even with all the technical difficulties. But the great thing is I've got a great tutorial for you guys, whether you guys are beginners and you want to learn how to customize your shoes, or you're already in the game and you just kind of want to refinish and refine your guys' artwork. I think that this will be a great tutorial for you guys. Before I start, though, I did want to show you guys, and I think I just mentioned this earlier, but I had no sound. This is the how to make a portrait. This was the last tutorial that we were working on. This was a young lady that I started to work on, and this is the second version of her that I am working on now. So you guys could see, like, I am super close. I mean, so close to the point where if I take a break to go grab a cup of water or whatever it is, and I come back, I can't even tell which one I was working on. So that's a good thing, you know. I'm getting to that point. So again, it was just a lot of back and forth of working with little the micro pigment brushes and stuff like that to get all the shading and the shadows and everything right. But I think we're pretty close to getting her done. I might need maybe like another hour or so, and I'll knock this last version of this young lady out. So anyways, I want to say what's good. How you guys doing? How you guys living? What is today? Today's Monday, right? Every day's the same day for me because I just paint, so it doesn't really matter. Let me say what's good to everybody before I jump on and we jump on to the actual custom. I know I got some folks actually all over right now, man. I got some people over on Twitch. We've got people on YouTube, and we've got people on Facebook as well. For some reason or another, Restream does not show the viewers up here on the top on Facebook. Not sure exactly why, but I did want to say what's good to Hannon. Hannon, thank you. You're the first person to tell me that I was muted, and you also complimented the jersey, man, the McGrady jersey. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. I'm a big Toronto fan. Just in general, man, I love going to Toronto. I've got family out there, so always nice to rep the TO. Who else we got in the building, guys? We got Chevin Fisher. Chevin, sorry, bro. I know that you guys couldn't hear me, man. Moises, sorry again that you couldn't hear me. Welcome back, Moises. Who else we got in the building, guys? Of course, we got the Dye Lab. What's good, Dye Lab? How you living, man? Dye Lab's over on Twitch. And I think that we should be good now. Let me see if I missed anybody else to say what's up to. Webb's Custom Kicks. The big homie Webb's Custom Kicks is in the building. What's good, Quan? How you living? Welcome back. The top donator is in the building. Thank you for being back, man. How you living, doggy? Okay, cool. We're good on sound. Now it's working. Okay, cool. So I think I could skip all this stuff. Bart de Boer. Bart de Boer. Or Bart de Boer? Either way, what's good, man? How you living? Moises said, let's go! All right, cool, man. All right, so Speed Infusion fixed the sound. I think Speed Infusion, usually what he does is he tries to, like, mess up the sound or mess up the video on purpose, so then he can come back in and say, like, he fixed something, you know what I mean? So if it's messed up, it's usually possibly because of Speed Infusion. No, I'm messing. Speed Infusion is the admin here, guys. So if you guys don't know, say what's up to the homie Speed Infusion. He just said giveaway when I get back. So if you guys are on today, stick with me. We're going to do some giveaways today. We were supposed to do them on Saturday. I didn't have a chance to, so today's a great day to do a giveaway, right? Who else we got in the building? Oh, there goes the neighborhood, man. Wade's in the building. What's good? Got your six. Got your six over on Twitch. My man Punky B203, what's good? Also on Twitch. And I think we've got everybody covered. Oh, Hannon said patent leather, man. Learn how to work with patent leather with you. Oh, that's dope, man. Thank you. Actually, Hannon, you mentioned patent leather, man, and I actually ended up getting some new paints. So if you guys weren't here with me last time or missed the end of the stream, I just want to show you guys what I got. This is from the paint company Made in the USA. These guys are made in Detroit. Alpha 6 is the Instagram name. And the reason why I'm bringing this up to you guys is because Hannon just mentioned how to paint patent leather. And I haven't tried it yet, but I think that these guys might be the new say all about patent leather. Okay? So if you guys are interested in painting your Jordan 11s, we've got, man, a bunch of colors from these guys from Alpha 6. This is just one kit that these guys had, man. So shout out to Alpha 6 for, sending me this care package. I really wanted to mess around with these paints today, but I do have to finish up Roland's kicks as well. So I had to pick and choose, and Roland's been real patient. But just a heads up for you guys, Alpha 6, flexible textile and leather paints. And look at how many things this works on. It works on use on leather. Secondly, it says patent leather. That's what got my attention when Hannon said that. Canvas, paper, fabric, wood, plaster, masonry, paper mache, and mostly non-slick, non-oily surfaces. So, man, they got everything covered, man. So shout out Alpha 6. I got a bunch of different colors. As you guys could see, I've got jet black. I've got mint, which is kind of like a Tiffany. This one is super nice too. This is a, what was this one? It's like a light orange is what they call it. I'll just run through these real quick, guys. This one looks kind of like a Carolina blue. They call it light blue. Hot pink. What else we got here? Ivory, which is a really nice color too. This is kind of like if you want to have that sail, vintage, off-white kind of a look. This is what I would go with on that. Ivory. They've got a beautiful red. It's like a cherry red. They call it bright red. What else we got? This is like a turquoise. They call it peacock. Really, really beautiful color as well. We've got a green. That's a bright green, which is cool because I never really get this kind of a color. It's like a good middle of the ground green here. What else we got? Bright blue. We've got like a soft looking yellow here. It's called lemon sherbet. I like that name. This is one of my favorite here. This is like a violet, which is actually called a violet. And we got an ultra white. So I know one of the guys was asking about blacks and whites and how can you get them to be like, like a really, really dark black or a really, really white. So it'll be interesting to test these guys out and see how these guys are. But real quick, let me give you guys the Instagram name here. I believe it's Alpha 6 Corporation. Let me double check on that. Alpha 6. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So it's called Alpha 6 Corporation. So check these guys out, man. This might be an alternative to your everyday paints that you're using now. I am going to test these guys out. So if you guys haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button for me. And let me know if you guys have any ideas on what you got. You see the paints I got. Again, this is just one set of paints. The dope part about Alpha 6, though, that I think is intriguing to me is they've got like this chameleon. It turns from like purples to like emerald greens to blues. So it turns different shades in the color. I'm hoping that maybe I might be able to test that out because it sounds like a dope paint. I did hear one of the guys on my Patreon channel told me that color is a little bit more expensive. I think he said it was running on sale for like $20 or something like that. But if you get a bigger bottle like this, you have quite a bit to go. I think that color was also a 2.5 ounce though. These are 5 ounce bottles, so you could see they're pretty big, so they'll go a long way. All right, so just an introduction. Alpha 6. Shout out Alpha 6 for the care package again. Thank you guys. And we'll be seeing some customs with Alpha 6 paint soon. All right. Next thing I got to talk to you guys about, which, oh man, I'm so bummed about this, guys. I don't know where this is going to go, but I did want to mention to you guys that our Instagram got shut down. I have no clue why it got shut down. But this is our new Instagram here. It's Feel Good Threads LA. So it's almost the exact same name, except we just added an LA at the end. We just started it like 2 or 3 days ago. So if you guys have not followed us on Instagram as our backup account right now, we're going to be using Feel Good Threads LA as our backup account. Will we get Feel Good Threads back? Man, everything's up in the air right now with Instagram, yo. It's super, super difficult to get in touch with anybody over there. And so, I don't want to lose hope. I'm being positive about it, but, it is what it is. If they shut it down and I don't have a way to get in touch with them, then we're going to have to start from scratch and rebuild, okay? But we'll grow together. We always do, right? So let's jump into it. Let's jump into some of the things that I'm going to be using today. I should tell you guys the backstory on why I'm going to be painting the colors that I am. Okay, so let me start with that. I'm going to need my iPad to show you guys why. So lucky for me, I got it right here. So let me unplug this bad boy real quick. And I'll show you the mock-up I got. And I'll show you the mock-up I have because Roland asked for a specific colorway. Okay, so when somebody's asking me for a specific colorway or, detailed items, obviously I want to fill that in too. Okay, so let's jump into, here it is. Okay, I'm going to be today working on making these Cyber 3s into a shattered backboard version of the Cyber 3s. Now, a couple of things that Roland had asked me to add onto this custom, okay? First off, the custom has to be the same colors as this. This is his Hawks hoops. Sorry, I will say Hawks. Hawk hoops. I think it should be Hawks hoops, but I'm not, I'm going to say I'm not a spelling bee champ, but I did want to spelling bee because I'm Indian. But Hawks hoops is the colorway that we're going to be working with today. You can see that it's a black, it's a white, and it is an orange, and that's why I went with a shattered backboard kind of a look. So I mocked this up. I mocked this up on my iPad. I used the Procreate program, and I thought it was simple and clean, but it still has a good look to it. So today what we're going to be working on is masking off, prepping, getting all of the basics done. So if you ever are interested in working on your own kicks, this should hopefully be a nice tutorial to go back to if you ever want to, just get the basics, the ABCs down, and so you can just kind of reference this video, all right? So a couple of things that I was looking at here, you guys can see that I made some changes on the midsole. I'm probably not going to get to the midsole today because that's, it's kind of boring to start with the midsole. I think I'm going to start with the upper. And so with the upper, I'll be painting, you can see this toe cap area or toe vamp area here. I'll be painting that in orange. We'll be getting here in the little lace lock areas as well. And then you can see that I'm jumping in and working on these small lace hole sections here as well. Just a heads up on that, guys, if you do want to work on the lace holes, you can paint it, but you got to make sure that these two guys, if you're lacing them up, that you're being very careful when you lace the laces through, because the paint can chip. I usually like to keep the paint dry and on there for like 2-3 days before I even try to lace these guys up. But if you want to be bold and do it early, you can always do it. Just be careful with it. Some people, they try to use waxes and stuff, so that way it just kind of slips through a little bit easier. But what I do, and I'll show you guys the process behind it, is I do sand them down first. I use adhesion promoter, and it's funny because like there's just 5 little lace hole areas, but it requires quite a bit of prep to do. So just giving you guys a heads up on that in advance. We're going to be putting his kids' numbers on here as well. So one of his kids is a number 0. So I'm going to be making a small little tab that says the number 0 on it. And lastly, we're going to put the Hawk Hoops logo on there as well. Okay. The one thing that I kind of veered away from, I think, on his request was just to add like more of a vintage color sole here on the bottom. And you know what? Now that I mentioned that, I bet you we can use this flexible ivory color by Alpha 6. So maybe I might jump into that. They didn't give me a gray. I wish they had given me a gray, but I'm going to be making this upper just a little bit more of a charcoal or a gunmetal gray. And I'm doing that just to give a little bit of variation to the custom. Okay? So any questions on that, guys? I think hopefully I did a pretty thorough job on what needs to be done. And then also you can see here just a reference to Mike when he was playing in the games and wearing this jersey that he was wearing. And that's kind of where the shattered backboard colorway comes from. They took the colors from the jersey here, which was an orange and black. And that was his famous dunk where he actually dunked and shattered the backboard, and there's glass pieces everywhere. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with how the shattered backboard occurred, that's the dealio. Okay? So I think we're good. I think we're covered. I spoke a lot. Let's jump into it. Let's put this bad boy down real quick. And I think what I'm going to do today, guys, just for sake of time, I know you guys probably don't want to see me do the same thing twice. So let's put one shoe away, okay? And basically, if we get one shoe down, then the other shoe is the exact same thing, right? So let's go ahead and unlace these guys up. You know, I really wanted to do the back tabs as well, but it's just been very difficult to find somebody to make good, reliable back tabs. Also, Jordan's, the 3s, the 4s, all their back tabs, depending on what year you have, they actually have different shapes. They're very slightly different, but, you know, if you get, like, for example, a 2018 black cement versus, like, a 2011 black cement, there's a variation in not only the tabs, but the way the whole shoe is cut. So you might, you know, if you try to use a pattern or something for 2011 and try to make a 2018, it's not going to look like the 2018. You know, very minor variations, but they're still there. All right, so we got this guy taken off here, and I got some more comments. So let me just check, make sure I got all the comments taken care of real quick. Okay. Oh, okay. I did say it right. Cool, Bart. I'm glad to see that I actually said that name right. Boer. So it's a cool name, man. It's Dutch, huh? All right. So DS Kicks, I think I just told you their IG. I believe you're talking about Alpha 6 Corporation. So it's Alpha, the number 6, and then Corporation. Webb's Custom Kicks said, let me know how those work. I've been wanting to try them. Oh, absolutely, bro. We're gonna jump onto some kind of a tutorial, or we're going to jump onto something where we can figure that out. Awkward. I just found an Air Max. An Air Max tongue tag underneath there. I don't even know where that's from. So, all right, y'all. So here we go. Like, got your 6 head. Here we go. David. Oh, you know what, dude? David. Oh man, I'm going to say this right. I'm going to try my best. Davidito Designs. I'm starting a new podcast on YouTube. I would love for you to be one of the guests on the show. Would this be something that you would be interested in being a part of? Yeah, absolutely, man. You know what, bro? I think that you had hit me up on Instagram. I gotten to the point where I was reading the last couple of Instagrams, and then they had deleted everything. So I lost your DM. Please DM me on my new Instagram. It's Feel Good Threads LA, and we'll talk, man, for sure. I actually did a podcast with another dude not too long ago. I would say maybe it was about 6 months ago. So yeah, I'd love to be your guest, man. Absolutely. Are these 3s or Tinkers? These are Cyber 3s that I'm working with today. Cyber 3s. And I think that we're good on messages, man. All right, y'all. I got a guy for... Oh, Got Your 6 said I got a guy for back tabs. Give me a sec. I'll get the name. Oh man, Soul Restorations. I saw his work. And actually, I spoke to somebody about that dude, Wade, and he told me that he wouldn't recommend sore restorations. And I'll tell you why. Apparently, Sore Restorations makes back tabs, but he makes them 3D printed. And when you're working with 3D printing, what 3D printing does is it makes like a small sheet, and then it makes another small sheet, makes another small sheet, and then it compresses all of those sheets together to make the back tab. And that's not the problem isn't that it's making all the little small sheets, but like if you're familiar with like IKEA stuff, that's how IKEA makes their stuff too. IKEA makes, like it's not real wood, it's just compressed fiber, and they just keep adding layer after layer after layer. And the problem with that is that when you're adding layers like that and you're trying to almost glue them together, they're all very weak individually, and then when you put them together, they're still kind of weak, so they can still snap and break really easy. So appreciate you looking out, got your 6, but I did go down that path. No offense to Sore Restorations. I've never seen his work, so just letting you guys know I have not seen it. This is just the information that I had received from somebody else who's really, really deep in the game, and so I trust him. You know what I mean? Simple as that. So, all right, guys, let's get down to work, man. First off, you guys now know what we have to use to get the custom done. Let's introduce some paints. Oh, and also I should give you guys links for everything. I actually set up links today, which is a first, okay? But I'm gonna fill you guys in on some secrets today as well. A lot of people are buying the 1 ounce SBB shattered backboard from Angelus. I use Tangerine, and it's nearly like identical. I'll tell you that because I have a pair of reverse shattered backboards, and I use this to paint with. And dude, I couldn't tell the difference. So if you want to save some money, get the 4 ounce Tangerine from Angelus. And you know what? Let me drop these links on real quick, because once I get going, I'm gonna forget about the. Oh dang! Almost dropped my iPad. Caught it though. Caught it. Woo. How many times I'm gonna drop this iPad, yo? I have no clue. All right, y'all, give me 1 sec. Let me get these links up real quick for you guys. So here is the links. Link after link after link. Okay. So, well, we just mentioned paint, so let me just send you guys a link to the paints. Unfortunately, I didn't get the exact link for Tangerine. Okay. But, oops. I put thanks for the jersey compliment. Sorry about that, man. That was from earlier. And that was from Hannah. So that was meant for you, Hannah. Hannon. And of course this thing don't want to paste when I needed to paste. There we go. Okay, so this is the link for Angelus, guys. So if you're wondering where to get the paints, that's where I get the paints from. Today I may or may not be working with my airbrush, but I get so many people asking me like which airbrush I'm using. So this is the airbrush that I use. It is the Iwata HPCS. That's the link for it. You'll need a compressor for it too. So let me get that compressor link for you guys. And then after that, I think pretty much we can start the process here. Compressor. And this compressor, guys, is this compressor is a beast right there. So if you guys need a compressor, that's the compressor. Airbrush cleaner as well. I'll need that. And man, I use these a lot, so I'm gonna throw this up there. And this is just to clean. This is just to clean your guys' airbrush. So that's gonna be interdental brushes. These are interdental brushes. These guys help clean the inside of your airbrush there. And then also, I use another one here, the Grex one. these guys right here. So these guys have different sizes, which is kind of nice. You know, you have different sizes, meaning like if you have a bigger airbrush, then you can use a bigger brush there to kind of clean out. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let me grab one of these bad boys. And first things first, we got to prep. Okay, so let's get some cotton balls out. There we go. And I'm gonna just I'm gonna have my version here out so that I don't paint the wrong stuff, because I've done that before and that's not too smart. All right. All right, y'all. If you have not, we just started a giveaway, man. First giveaway is gonna be for a set of laces, y'all. So please enter the giveaway. It's not too hard to enter it. All you got to do is hit pound. Oh no, I said pound. I'm about to give you guys the wrong instructions. All you guys got to do is hit the exclamation mark and raffle. Okay. So Speed Infusion just started that up. As you guys are jumping into that, I'm gonna jump into the shoe. Okay. First things first, I got to try to get a nice cotton ball, and this is just acetone, even though it says airbrush cleaner on here. I just like to use this guy here as the spout on it works really well. Okay, so I'm going to avoid hitting this guy here, and we're just doing this little section here. As I'm doing that, I like to kind of take a look at the cotton ball too and see is the paint, sometimes the paint will come off. And if the paint comes off, you just got to be real careful with this. You might want to use actually a Q-tip instead of a cotton ball, but I think right now we're safe. See that? So I'm just running through and really trying to get a nice clean prep job here, okay? Now a lot of people ask, yo, you know, my paint cracked, what's the deal? What did I do? I thought I prepped right. And a lot of the times people, you know, the main issue is people don't prep right. So if you're not prepping right, then yeah, of course it's going to chip. Of course things are going to crack. You just got to make sure that when you get into this stuff that you're really getting in all the little crevices as well. So you'll see, even though I'm using a big cotton ball right now, I'm still going to get in and use smaller tools, and that'll help to get all the little smaller bits and pieces as well. Okay, so just a word of reference for that, guys. If you've got a big panel, you want to use bigger tools. You want to use bigger brushes. Okay, if you've got small panels, you're working on a little piece like this, you want to use a smaller brush. Okay, so just a general rule of thumb for those of you guys who are just starting to get into you know, just starting to get into the whole customizing process, or if you guys have been interested and you haven't really dived into it, these are things that you need to know. Okay, now I mentioned Q-tips. I get these guys from Target. They have a bit of a point to them, and I like that because you see I can get into like little sections like this. And if I don't do that, if I just leave them, then you can risk the paint cracking. Especially like, see here, like where the threads are. You really want to get into the threads. I notice a lot of people skip this step. And if you skip this step, I mean, you're holding yourself susceptible to a custom that might crack. So you guys could see that when I run through it, I'm putting a little bit of pressure there because those two threads that kind of sewn the up or down here, it kind of dips. And so this Q-tip, you can see it's a nice little Q-tip to go right in between that dip. As I'm starting to prep this, guys, I know we've got, man, we got a lot of people on today, guys. We've got about 26 people on, maybe more because Facebook doesn't show me exactly like how many people are on Facebook. Is anybody on Facebook? I'd love to see somebody say what's up from Facebook. I haven't even checked to see if anybody has chatted from Facebook. If not, I wonder if Facebook is even active. Pretty sure it is. Speed Infusion, could you check that for me, man? See if did the link go up on Facebook? Because I see a lot of people from Twitch and I see a lot of people from YouTube, but I don't see anybody from Facebook. So, Hannon, you said, how do I join it? All you have to do is hit the exclamation mark and the word raffle right next to it, okay? No spaces. Guys, as I'm prepping, I want to know, do you guys want me to paint this first part using an airbrush? Or would you prefer me using just regular paintbrushes? Because we can go either way on this. So I want you guys to know, a lot of you guys I know might not have an airbrush or might be interested in learning how to use an airbrush. So I think we're could be split on that decision there. There we go. Cool. So this area is not too difficult to get prepped. It's a very small, thin area, which I love that, man. You don't have to worry about too much to prep here. And by the way, guys, today I'm using a black base. I usually don't like to use a black base, to be honest with you guys. And the reason why is because black is obviously it's one of the darker colors in the color spectrum. But I like to use a white base. And the white base, I use that because it's kind of like, when you're first painting or drawing something on a blank white sheet of paper, you can color that sheet of paper yellow, brown, orange, red, whatever color you want. And when you get into those brighter colors, like for example, like a neon like this, and you want it to look like hit and pop like really nice, you cannot paint neon on top of black, because what you're going to get is like a murky looking version of black and this color combined. The neons, they need a white base, okay? So just for reference, guys, you need a white base painting neons, okay? Lawrence Parker, what's good, homie? He said the Shoe God is here. I'm assuming you're talking about yourself. Welcome, Shoe God. Link not up on Facebook. Weak, dude. Seriously? That's super whack, man. Let me, give me a sec, guys. I'm trying to see what the heck happened, man. Link should be up on all three of you. Huh. Oh, it's saying sending data. I wonder if that needs to be refreshed. Let's see. Oh, man, it says I'm going to have to restart the broadcast. Alright, man. Well, Facebook, y'all are out of luck, homie. I'm not trying to restart this. We've gotten too far already. So, let's see what you guys... Did you guys have any preference? Do you guys want me to start with the airbrush? Do you guys want me to start with a paintbrush? Let me know, guys. As you guys are making your decision, I'm just gonna start cleaning this guy out anyways. Now, I mentioned to you guys that if you're working on a big panel, you should be using a bigger brush. Small panel, working with a smaller brush. Today I'm working with this Princeton Select brush, and it's a flat angular. What does that mean? What the hell's a flat angular? That's what I said when I first started working with these brushes. I had no idea what these names were. So, flat angular brush. Let's kind of talk about this is a 1/4 inch. You can see it says 1/4 of an inch. Where did it go? See that right there? 1/4 of an inch. This is a Princeton Select. Princeton Select Angular Shader is what they call it, also known as a flat angular. But you can see that it's angled going in almost like a 45-degree fashion. And it's flat, right? It's not like a little nub or like real small and thin. So I like to use the paintbrush. Okay, so we got a lot of people saying, we got people going. Let's see, link not up on Facebook. Airbrush, Benjamin said. Bradley said paintbrush. Sneaky Ricky said paintbrush. Citizen Earth said paintbrush. So we got 3-1 on paintbrushes so far. Okay, but you know what, Benjamin, don't be mad, man, if we don't do this one in in an airbrush, maybe I'll jump on the other one and I can teach you how to do an airbrush. Okay, so let's see. I'm holding that brush right now. Sick. Okay, cool. You probably got that brush because you saw the tutorials, right, Dilab? All right, guys. So now, 2 ways we can go about doing this. And again, I told you guys I don't like painting black, because when I'm painting black, and if it's anywhere close to a bright color, for example, like this orange, then it doesn't translate to that same color, because the base layer, the layer that's underneath it, it's a dark black, so it's going to probably be a little bit darker. And so you got to figure out, sometimes this is more of an experience thing, guys. You got to figure out whether you like to just try doing this like an orange, because this is orange is kind of like a halfway in between. It's not super bright, and then it's not exactly on the darker spectrum as well. So you can try laying a layer of orange out to see, or tangerine out to see how it goes. Or there's another option. So let's talk about that other option. We need a lighter color to slowly transition into the orange. Okay, that color, what I could use is either a mist. You guys notice that I mix it up a lot. Okay, especially nowadays because it's been pretty hot over here. So this needs to be mixed and really given the love that it needs. Okay, so you could either use a mist, or you can use a flat white. Okay, either one of them you can use, because you want to get this layer to be somewhat of a light base before you really start to topple on orange. Okay, that's my preference on how to do it. I like to try to get it to be as true of a color as possible. You know what I mean? So if this is like a tangerine, I want this to look like a Shattered Backboard Custom. I don't want it to look like a darker, like a reddish orange. So let's pour some paint in here. I'm gonna go with paintbrush. I think that everybody is kind of going with that paintbrush flow, right? Okay, so Rags to Riches, what's good, homie? How you living? Glad to see you back. That should be more than enough. I looked up at the screen for half a second and I poured too much paint. So another thing, y'all don't want to pour too much paint if you don't have to. You know what I mean? Save your paint. So sometimes I'll even take this paint and dip it back in to the actual bottle. So where did my paintbrush go? There it is. That's one way to start. Lose your paintbrush before you start the whole custom, right? Cool, man. Chillin', can't complain. I like that. Rags to Riches, you need to put just a heads up. You need to put an exclamation mark first, I believe, and then raffle. And Sneaky Reeky Customs, man, he made a great point, man. I've got some metallics here, for example, like rose gold. We've got, what else I got here? Riot Red. We got Prince Purple. The metallics for Angelus work excellent with blacks. So in case you do want to have a black base coat, metallics would probably be the play there, okay? All right, y'all. So let me jump in. Again, I'm going to just dip a little bit. And the main point on me doing this part today is a nice light coat, nice and thin, okay? So watch how we stretch. Watch us stretch this paint out. It's not going to be in just one little spot. We're going to move it, and we're going to shape the paint ourselves. Now, the Dye Lab had an issue with this last time. Look at what I'm doing here. I'm going side to side. See when I go side to side right here? I don't catch the actual midsole. I'm basically just very carefully pushing just a little bit of that paint to that edge. Now, some people are going to tell you, hey man, you didn't mask nothing off. You're just gonna go at it like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna go at it like that. And I learned a long time ago when I masked things off. Well, number one, it takes a long time to mask things off. You know what I mean? So if I'm masking things off, you got to consider that part of the time now that you're working on the custom. And you know, when you're working on customs full time, if this is your job, then you know your job is to try to get this done in an efficient time, but then not compromise the quality too, okay? So here y'all see that I'm working in a very, very tight spot. Tight spots are okay. If I still have a big brush like this, you could still use a tight spot and a big brush like this. It's just you got to be careful with how you use it. You'll see how I'm running through this whole thing and I haven't touched any other panel yet. So as I run through this little section that I've already put down, I'm not going to just let it dry. I got to make sure we spread it, spread it, spread it. Get that peanut butter and spread it all the way through, okay? So you don't see any brush strokes. It should be nice and smooth all the way through. This is a mistake that a lot of people make, is they let the paint just dry. And when you let the paint dry and it still has brush strokes in it, that's usually how it's going to end up drying, and then you're going to continue to put layer after layer on there, so it's just going to get worse. So make sure when you're spreading this out, this mist out, you should spread it out to the point where before it dries, that we're making sure that we've gotten rid of all the brush strokes. See this? That's what I'm doing here. I'm running through and I'm literally just flattening out any brush strokes that I have here. After some time, guys, your brush, because you're using paint and it's drying, right? It's gonna get hard. The bristles will get hard. So if you feel it getting hard and it's like not moving, you want to dip it back into some kind of a cleaner. I'm using acetone. They say it's taboo to use acetone on brushes. I mean, I don't know. I don't see the difference. But it softens the bristles up real quick. So that's why I like to use acetone. Then you can see like, oh cool, now the bristles are moving again. Y'all see that? Bart, no problem, man. Thank you so much. Hey, we're going to do a restream of this, Bart. So if you want to catch the rest of it, just come back onto YouTube and it should be up under live, okay? So thanks anyways for coming through, man. I appreciate you. Ralph, I don't know if they don't know I'm a pro or not, but you know, I got to pay the mortgage every month, so I would consider myself pretty decent at what I do now. Especially when you got kids and a wife, man. There's no time to mess around, right? So let's talk a little bit about pluses and minuses on when you paint versus when you airbrush here, right? So you guys can see that as I'm running through this custom using a paintbrush, it's not exactly the speediest of processes, you know? Because we haven't even gotten to the other side. We haven't gotten to the other side. I'm just talking and I'm working, you know, I'm not just fooling around, I'm working. But you can see that first layer, I really want it to be thin. If you don't make it thin, if you make it real chunky, the other problem is that the paint won't dry. It'll take a long time to dry. And you'll think like, oh, now it's dry, but the way that the paint dries, the top layer, the exterior, will always dry first. And then the layers underneath it will dry afterwards. So you may think that the paint is dry because you could touch it and feel it and the paint feels dry. But internally, that paint might not be dry yet. So if you continue to pile on layer after layer, it's kind of like putting layer after layer on Jello. And what I mean by that is, you know, Jello's not strong. It's not a foundation that you wouldn't build a building on Jello. I mean, maybe if you're crazy like that, you'd build a building on Jello. But, you know, for me, I want to make sure that we take this first step. This is the most important step. I want to make sure that we do it right. So y'all see that as I lay it down, the mist is now starting to overtake the black. And that's really what we want. We want that mist to overtake that black. You guys doing okay on views here? Can you guys see okay? Trying to make sure that you guys have a good angle at all points, you know? That way, you guys are truly learning, right? You can't learn if the environment's messed up. If you guys don't have good light, you need to go get some good light. I saw somebody mention a heat gun. What you guys using a heat gun for? Do you guys see how long it's taking me just to get this layer down? There's no point in using a heat gun when you're doing this, because if you guys are doing it that fast, you guys might want to slow down. I mean, I don't know how fast of a painter you guys are. I know I'm not like Speedy Gonzalez when it comes to this, but you know, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty efficient. But one of the other YouTubers, I believe, was it Rags to Riches? Yeah, I said how vital. Oh no, Rags to Riches is asking how vital is drawing with the heat gun between coats. I don't use a heat gun, guys. Not for this. I don't use a heat gun because I think that the heat gun compromises the adhesion properties of the paint. And so I'd rather it naturally dry and settle. You see how I've already laid down 2 coats on the other side. And so now I'm doing the same thing on this side to catch it up. I know when I first started, I wasn't very comfortable with the paints and paint brushes and not knowing like how fast is it, when is it going to dry? Is it going to dry like super fast? Am I going to miss getting all the brush strokes? And I think that, you know, as you just start to play with the paints and get the experience, right? Just like anything else, like when you're practicing, when you're shooting free throws, or if you're skateboarding and you're practicing jumps, whatever it is, the more comfortable you start to feel with the tools, the more comfortable you're going to feel making the customs as well, right? So y'all see here, I'm really just, I like to work in like little batches. I'm not like going through the whole toe box area here and trying to get a whole layer around. Just working a little section, you know, getting it mainly mist white or mist gray, and then moving on in the next section. Notice my pinky here, guys? It gives me a lot of control. I'm just using my pinky here to just kind of stabilize the brush. Practice that. It really helps out, you know? In the thread areas, I never use a lot of paint. I just use just enough where I feel like it'll coat it. And then we can move on, because if you add a bunch of paint here in this thread area, guess what happens to your threads? They're going to look all gunky because you're going to have all this excess paint. It's going to dry in the thread. And it's not going to look like a factory finish anymore. It's going to have a bunch of paint and you'll be able to see it, you know? Like so when I run through these spots here, the thread spots, you don't want to add too much paint. Just enough where you can spread it thin and get it across. So y'all see I'm going through. I'm really making sure here that none of the thread has excess paint just laying on top of it. Y'all see that? Yeah, it gets mad clumpy. Exactly. You don't want mad clumpy. Exactly what Rags to Riches just said, man. Mad clumpy is no bueno, man. People will be looking down at your shoes and they'll know that it's a custom, you know. And I mean, sure, if you got a wild pair of shoes on, they'll know it's a custom, but this is something that you guys can avoid. Oops, got a little bit on that black. It's okay. We could clean it up. See how tight this little area is, but I haven't switched brushes. I'm still comfortable using the brush. And the reason why is because I'm not using the whole brush. I'm just using just the front section here. So I'll show you what I do when I dip the paint here, guys. If I'm working on a very small, thin area, I don't dip the whole thing in. You know, knowing how much paint to put on is part of the process. See how much I'm dipping? It's just the front end there, okay? I just dip the front end just like if you're, remember those old school pens where you got to dip in the ink? It's kind of similar to that. I'm just taking enough where I know that'll be enough, and now I'll just spread that across. Y'all see that? So far so good. I haven't used any masking tape on this process. Now, I know we're talking a little bit about what's positive and what's negative about paintbrushing. Well, I'm two layers in here, and I haven't used any masking tape. That's great. You know, it saves you time. You don't have to worry about that. Now, what's bad about it is I think that sometimes layers like this can be executed super fast if you're airbrushing, because once you take the time to mask everything off, I mean, it's literally like 5 minutes of airbrushing. You'll do a quick light layer, you'll let it dry, you'll do another light layer, let it dry, and then you'll notice that, you know, in about 3-4 layers, everything's spread out evenly and you're good to go. So that's the positive about airbrushing, is once you get the items all masked off, then you're good to go. You know, you're just, all you got to do is airbrush the parts and then let it dry and then take off the masking tape and you're done. The problem with airbrushes though is if you're not familiar with the airbrush, it could be a hassle, man. it can clog. You know, masking off areas takes some time. If you're not good at masking off, you'll have overspray. Overspray meaning that like it'll get on other panels, like it'll get on this panel even though you don't want it on there, and then you got to clean that panel up, so you're going back and forth. So yeah, there's perks and there's cons for both airbrushing and for hand painting. But I mean, either way, you know, you're gonna have to put in a little bit of work. Nothing is gonna customize itself. It's always gonna be on the artist. All right, so I feel like pretty comfortable, like this is pretty much there. And I would say this is about, I'm gonna just say conservatively, this is about 2 layers in. Starting to look more like a Oreo 3 than anything. Right? We're getting that black and white kind of a vibe. So this is about, I'd say 2 layers. If you want to say 3 layers, you could say 3. And I do have a couple of spots, you know, small spots here that I'm missing. We can go back in and we'll let that dry first. Check this side out. This is about 1 layer in, so let me just go ahead and lay out 1 more layer here. Poor guys on Facebook. Sorry guys on Facebook. I promise you we weren't tripping when we said we're going to have you guys on. But the computer thought otherwise, man. See how quickly I can actually knock this out here. See this? Now again, this is the issue that Dylab had. He said, "Yo, man, I'm masking off, and I've got all these sections here. What you got to do is just lay like a little reservoir. I call it a reservoir because it's kind of like a backup of just paint. So I'll take a good chunk of it, and I'll lay it all the way through like this. So you have enough paint in the whole section now. And then you can go in and one swoop, you should be able to get the majority of it. It's pretty good, right? Now, if you're a little intimidated by that way, you can always do this other method that I was showing the Dylab as well, which is just going back and forth like this. Side to side, side to side, side to side. And just inching along, okay? Either way works for me. That way you avoid hitting your midsole there. You get a nice crispy line. And I think this side is pretty much done. Now I'm just kind of whisking off very lightly. I'm just doing light strokes here. If I see any brush strokes, I'm trying to eliminate them. Sometimes you'll get in this position where you're like, oh damn, that paint it's drying, but it's not dry, and you still got a brush stroke there. Let me tell you guys a secret on what to do on that. You know, the way paint works, guys, if it's kind of in the middle of drying but it's not dry, you could still save it. And how you do that is you add more paint to it. So say, for example, like this area here is still kind of in the midst of drying. Now I could add a little bit more paint on top of it. And what it kind of does, it makes that section, it re-wets that section up. So it kind of gives you another opportunity to get at those brush strokes, or if you need to fill something in, you can still fill it in. Okay? So remember, if you guys are ever in that mist of, oh, it's almost drying, but it's not drying yet, you can still save it by just adding a little bit more paint onto your brush and then mixing it with that dried paint. Okay? I would compare that to, like, say for example you have lemonade, right? And you water it down a little bit more. It'll still be lemonade. Probably won't taste as good because you'll lose some of the sugar, but you know, you'll save it. There we go. So now we're pretty much filled in, guys. What do you guys think? So far so good? Everybody with me? Nothing too complicated? Knocked over a paint? Put that paint back there. Alright, let me just give this a minute to breathe, guys. I think I got a little section here. Maybe I can give this little section here a little bit of a touch up, and we'll let that breathe. As that breathes, guys, I'm going to just take a quick look. I know we were just doing a raffle here. We're doing some giveaways, so if you're on, welcome. You guys are on at the right day. We're giving away some free laces right now. You guys will be able to choose any set of laces that you want on shopfeelgood.com. And we got some extra ones here as well. So if you find something else that I show you guys and you like it, it's yours, okay? First you got to win though. And that means you got to enter. Cool. So this looks good. I think I got the majority of that front end done. Now you guys notice as that's drying, look what I'm doing. I'm re-wetting, or I'm trying to clean off this brush so I don't have this dry paint that I just used. Okay? I want to start off fresh again. See? Let's go ahead and clean that off and dry it off. Quick shout out to the homie Flight School Customs. Flight School, what's good, homie? Fees G, how you living? Damn, I was too late. What were you too late for, Flight School? Oh, for the raffle. Oh, man, dude, you just missed it, bro. Sorry, man. I wonder, have you won yet? I know there's a couple of people who have won. So as this is resting, I'm going to just check the comments real quick, okay? See what's going on with you guys. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, nice work. Have to go to sleep. Okay, so that's where I left off with Bart last time. Ralph said that he's a pro. I remember that. Cool. Dialab said, you preaching at Feel Good Threads. I stopped masking off the midsole after we talked. My line's been way better. Yo, Dialab, Patreon family, bruh. The least I could do is help you out, man. I'm glad you got another little shortcut there. You know what I mean? Who else we got in the building here? Big Pro. Rags to Riches, you're funny, homie. How vital is drying with the heat gun between coats? So Rags to Riches asked that. I think we answered that question. Heat gun is only needed when dyeing fabric. So what the dye lab just said, man, I usually just use the heat gun for fabric, but I might find another option here for you guys where we don't need to use a heat gun at all. So if Jacquard comes through with that air fix, man, and we're gonna try some air fix out, and we'll test that out on one of the next streams, okay? The dye lab said, from my experience, letting the layer dry on its own is how you get the best durability. 100% agree with you on that. And then usually after it's all said and done, I use this LK Shoes leather top coat. It's a scratch resistant sealer, and that'll seal things off for me. Okay. Just for kicks, what's good, homie? Are you in? Wow, this looks hella sexy setup now. You're funny, man. Thanks for the compliment, man. Big just for kicks in the building, guys. Over in New Zealand. He's New Zealand's finest, man. Bradley Baxter on YouTube said, I know I'm jumping the gun on this, but do you ever get custom back tabs made for 3s and 4s? Bradley, I used to get custom back tabs made for 3s and 4s. Unfortunately, Billy at Beat to Heat Restorations does not do custom back tabs anymore. I just did a pair of Jordan 4s for, man, I'm going to butcher his name, dude. Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I did get a pair of 4s. We're still kind of testing them out, man. They were a little too rubbery, if that makes any sense, compared to this like nice stiff. You see these back tabs are like nice and stiff. See, it barely gives. So if I find something, man, for sure I'll let you know, dude, for sure. Still looking though, Bradley. I'm sorry, man. Let's see who else we got here. Rax Richards says, gotcha. Just had to ask. It's mixing colors and making sure those brush strokes smooth. Exactly. You got it, man. What else we got? Flight School's in the building. I've seen the artists use too thin to dye the threading first, but that might just be a personal preference. Sneaky Ricky, that's a good point, man. The reason why they probably use too thin is because they water down the paint, and that's what too thin does. It waters down the paint, so it's not as thick as you usually get it. So if you notice, you put too thin in, it automatically feels a lot more watered down and watery. So that's a great tip. I didn't do it here. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, especially because we're going to be locking in with the scratch resistant sealer. So instead of taking that extra step to do that, I'm not going to do it. But people could do it. Absolutely. It's not a bad thing. It's not going to make or break your custom. You know what I mean? So let's see. I think we got people all set up here. Am I done with answering questions? No, we got some more people. I said, what's up to fees? It's over. I don't know if mine made it. Rags Stewart just said that. I hope you made it, man. I don't think a lot of people joined that first raffle. It usually will tell you that you received one raffle ticket if you make it. Yep, for sure, exactly. Scrawny Johnny, what's good, homie? How you living? Legacy Colorway in the building too. What's good, fam? How you doing? It has been a minute for sure, man. We're good to go now. Speaking of, guys, if you guys just joined me again, we did have a disruption with our Feel Good Threads on Instagram. So if you haven't joined us on our new Instagram, it's Feel Good Threads LA. Stands for Los Angeles, obviously. So please follow us there. I did want to shout out the homie Legacy Colorway Customs, man. We are on our Patreon channel. We're coming up with how to sew fabrics on your toe box, how to do fabric on swooshes and sides of your shoes as well. Legacy helped me out quite a bit. We're just, this is what's great about this environment in general is we're all artists and we like to bounce ideas off of one another. Legacy Colorway Customs is one of the best I've seen in doing sewing work on the patching machine. So we've got a tutorial set up for that. Actually, where are those shoes at? We got those shoes around here somewhere. I'll show you guys. But we did some Dior print on them. And so if you guys are interested in learning how to do like more complicated customs, it's patreon.com/feelgoodthreads. You can also see whenever I point here, it never shows up, but it'll be up here as well. It's patreon.com/feelgoodthreads. It's about a cup of coffee per month to join. It's just $6, and that just helps for me to pay for, shooting the films and editing and all that stuff. And hopefully you guys learn from it and make more money. That's really the point, is for you guys to continue to grow as artists. Okay. So I got, oh man, it's going to be a hard one, man. I wonder if it's Joakoko Gigi or Hoakoko. Oh, I'm Joaquin. Okay. So it's Joaquin. Okay. I'm going to say a Joakoko Gigi then, I bet. Hi, I'm Joaquin from Argentina, and I want to know, what do you think about the paint of last post of Serato? Let me check, man. I haven't seen what Corey did. What is Corey doing, dude? What's Corey doing where I got to go look him up in the middle of a live stream? Corey, you always up to something, bro. Sierrato. My guy Serrato. Last post is with oh man, I'm jealous, bro. Last post is with him and what's his name from the Celtics, man. Jason Tatum. So I don't think that's the paint job you're talking about, homie. And then he's got a couple of different ones there. So is that the one? I don't know. Let me know which one you're talking about, Joaquin. He's got a lot of stuff. And shout out to homie Corey, man. Corey's a good guy, dude. He's an excellent, just a down-to-earth person. Excellent artist. But yeah, man, I look at Corey's stuff all the time, and I follow him. So yeah, he's blown up. I'm surprised the dude still talks to me. Courtney W said, "You are the Bob Ross of this customizing world." I need to get that fro on point, though, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, dog. Ralph said, "Facts, man. Thank you." Let's see. We got Sneaky Ricky said, "I know you've been busy. Let me know." Oh, man. We still need to have that Patreon convo, bro. Sneaky Ricky, let's set it up for this week, man. I know that I've been busy, too. Just that whole Instagram falling off had just caused a whole tailspin in me trying to get just income, dude. I had over 70,000 followers on Instagram, and then you wake up in the morning and you're supposed to post something and it's just gone. So it hurts right here, dude. It hurts. But Sneaky Ricky, let's link up this week, man. Definitely, man. Especially because my main source of income is my Instagram, and so when that's out, shit, dude. This is really my only other source of revenue now, is working on this stuff with you guys. So if you guys got a couple of bucks to donate today, man, obviously I truly appreciate it. Let's see what else we got. Nah, I haven't won. I was too late to enter this one. Okay, it's all good, man. I'm sure that there's going to be another one coming up very soon, man. I'm still here, homie. Just for kicks, you never leave, bro. Scrawny Johnny, you use Airfix, huh? Let me know. So you said it works good. Is it just basically you put it into the paint and then you just spray like normal? That's what I get of Airfix. So if you don't know what Airfix is, guys, it's supposed to be a substitute for using a heat gun and GAC 900. Where's that GAC 900? GAC 900, this fabric painting medium here. Instead of using this, you can drop some Airfix in your paint. What I'm thinking is to use Airfix, and they've got an airbrush paint, Jacquard does, or they also have Dynaflow. Where's that Dynaflow at? Show y'all Dynaflow right here. Dynaflow is super, super thin. This is Dynaflow here. See? And I'll show you guys real quick. You guys are like, man, this guy takes breaks like every 5 seconds or what? See how thin that is? Kind of weird how that looks purple in there, huh? It's probably because it's just not, it's been sitting, it's not mixed. Because the color is brick. You can tell that they put some purple in there. Let's see if I just mix it up and see what happens. Yeah, I've been talking to Alexander. Oh yeah, it definitely now mixed up and it has that brickish tone to it. Kind of cool. But yeah, you're supposed to be using this for like more the interior fabrics, sock liners and mesh tongues and stuff like that. So I'm really curious to use that. Oh, you love that show, Rags to Riches? Yeah, he's a really nice guy too, man. There's a lot of celebrities that are like not nice people, but Rob is just really kind-hearted, man. He shouted me out actually on his page as well. Man, what sucks is he shouted me out and then I got deleted. All right, so let's see what else we got. Oh, guys, if you haven't joined our Discord, man, we got a Discord going on. If you guys look on the chat, there's an actual bot that puts up the Discord link, so I'd love for you guys to join us there. I know a lot of you guys are on there. I was checking out some of you guys' work the other day, actually. The Dye Lab was up there. A lot of you guys are posting up there, so I really appreciate your guys' customs. But we want to get your guys' name out there. Patreon family, I haven't forgotten about you guys. I told you guys I'll be shouting you guys out on my story, but I just don't feel like it's fair for me to shout you guys out on the new Instagram where we don't have enough exposure and enough people following. So just give me some time. I promise you guys I'm going to shout everybody out on the Patreon channel and get your guys' work out there as well. Cool? What else we got, man? Does LK Shoes Sealant replace Raleigh Restoration Sealer? Ralph, they're supposed to be the exact same thing. They're equivalent of one another. So I'll just say that both of them, I use both, and both of them are awesome. Dialab asks, quick question, pearlescent silver, is white a good base, or should I go with like a gray first and silver on top? I would go with, to be honest with you, Dialab, the pearlescents are so good that you almost don't even need a base coat. The gold is 1,000 times better than the regular gold. You can actually, you just use it, just straight up. But if I were you, man, I would go with either the light gray or to go with the same mist that we're using here, okay? Because it's similar. And same thing if you guys are doing like neons and you don't have an airbrush, y'all. If you're using a neon yellow, neon orange, any of these really hot colors, really bright colors, you want to use a color that's similar to the color that you're going to be placing down. That's if you're using a brush. And again, you always want to use a white base coat, okay? So if it's not a white shoe or if it's not a white base coat, stop what you're doing and make sure it's white, all right? Quick trick here. I got some little bit of junk here in the front and the sides here. I'm going to just grab one of these same Q-tips that I used in the beginning of the tutorial, put a little bit of acetone, nothing too crazy. And then I'm going to, just like it's a pen, let me see if I can just kind of stand up to do this so y'all can see a little bit better. See that right there? Press down the part that I don't want to get messed up. And just like a pen or an eraser, I can just run through here and clean all that up, okay? So instead of having to paint it black, there's another part right here. Y'all see that little spot there? Again, I'm going to just go in here like this and just wipe it right off, okay? That's again with this Q-tip, and you can see that a little paint came off, but it's all good. This is just with a Q-tip and acetone. That's it. You can also use Prepare and Deglazer. Acetone seems to be the stronger of the two, so you might want to start with Prepare and Deglazer. I need to order more Prepare. I ran out now at this point. So, all right, y'all. That Bayou Boy. That's a good. That's a good suggestion, man. Maybe I need to do something on dyeing for sure. So I'll jump into that, man. Whenever I get an actual custom to dye. Okay. So let's jump into actually painting this base, man. This man talks so much he doesn't paint the damn shoes. He's been on for an hour and 20 minutes and all he does is talk. He's got an annoying voice too. That's messed up, y'all. Leave my voice alone. Alright guys, clean brush, but it's a little hard. So let me just go ahead and add a little acetone, and that way we'll soften the bristles up again, okay? Major key guys. Get that brush soft, get the bristles soft. It'll avoid a lot of your brush strokes and stuff, okay? So I just cleaned it all off. Bam, now I know that it's nice and clean. This is now technically like my third layer, okay? So y'all notice I only used 2 layers of that mist. And now when I lay down this orange, it should be a little bit brighter than it normally would be. And I like it because it's coming out real like wet, almost like it has a little bit of too thin in it. I want to get you guys to learn how to do these customs without masking a bunch of stuff off, you know? I feel like when you mask things off, that you don't really know exactly what's going on underneath the tape. And then that can become a problem for you guys later, you know what I mean? It's going to just basically be more cleanup for you guys. And I don't want you guys to clean up stuff that you don't need to. I just want you guys to skip over that whole beginner step of having to mask things off. And the way that I like to hold the shoes, you can see it's just on the ground. It's not moving anywhere. It's not unstable. It's very stable. It's just sitting on the plateau here, and I'm just using the side here. It's nice and flat, you know, it's nice and easy for me to paint. Some people use like Lazy Susans. I don't know if you guys know what that is or not. That's where they have, usually Lazy Susans are made for like cakes. And they'll put the cake on the Lazy Susan, and when they're decorating the cake, they could spin it around. So it's, all it is kind of like a plate that moves in a 360 fashion. I never got one of those before. I don't know why I never got one. They always look cool to me though. You know, all the cool customizers had them. Maybe that's why I didn't qualify. You're not cool enough, bro. See all the little corners? This is why I like to use this brush, because you can get in the little corners. You don't have to change brushes around. See, like when I get in this little corner, it fits perfect, like in that little nook. And then I can just move the paint out. Something about painting to me is just, it's very soothing, you know? Before, it was basketball for me. Just jump on a court and shoot shots all day. I used to shoot hundreds of shots, man. Just drop on some music. Shoot free throws. Start with free throws. Don't get off the line until you hit 10 in a row. And then just move back. Start shooting some threes. It's kind of like the same thing, you know? It's nice to have something to dial down your emotions, stress at the end of the day. The nice part about this for me is I get to do it every day. Watch as I run through this here. I'm going to go through the whole line and move all of the excess paint. See that? All of that excess paint is moved. And that's going to be like our first layer here. Y'all see that? That's just our first layer. So it's like we've got maybe another layer to go, and we'll have that little section all completed. That wasn't too bad. If your host didn't talk so much, I think you guys would have been done with this already. When you're hand painting, it's the art of manipulating where the paint should go. That's all it is. Don't think about this like it's anything complicated. It's not. If you know how to spread peanut butter and jelly, you know how to paint. Easy as that. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no extreme science. This isn't rocket science. This is just, you got to pick the right tools for the right job, and then you paint. You create something beautiful for yourself. Create something beautiful for your customers. And then you revel in the spotlight when you get to post it on your social media and everyone's saying, man, Nike should hire you. How come Nike hasn't hired you yet? It's a good feeling, right? It's more a feeling of accomplishment. Alright, y'all, so I'm just jumping into the other section here. Sometimes I'll get the paint on parts that I don't want to. I used to freak out about that, man. I used to freak out about that, y'all. Now, if I get paint somewhere, if it's not like an extreme rush, you know, if it's on like a mesh or something that I need to get it taken off right away, then I take it off right away. But like, I just hit this little piece here, I'm not even tripping about it. That's the least of my worries. Right now, I just want to get the layers to look nice and smooth. I don't want nothing to ruin my concentration. You know what I mean? How are we looking, guys? Oh, cool, man. Streamlabs said, thank you for following Just Depressed, to be honest. Oh, man, that's a depressing name, dude. I'm trying to dye the red suede on the Chicago 13s gray. Bayou Boy, I would recommend you don't do that. And the reason I tell you that is because red suede is one of the hardest things to kill when it comes to color. I don't know what it is about red, but if you have like a red sock liner, red suede, there's something about the color red that's so saturated that like as you paint it, it seeps back out. And then you'll start to see it again. You know what I mean? And just when you think like you're all done, it comes back, dude. It like haunts you. So I would be careful with that, homie. Just a word of advice. You know, it's your shoes. You could do what you want to do, but I would be worried, man. I wouldn't do that. For those of you who are wondering about dyes and suede dyes, you know, the general rule of thumb is you want to paint. You want to find a base shoe that is a light color. I'll give you guys an example. If you guys have seen my YouTube video on the Friends and Family Cactus Jacks I made, they were the baby blue Cactus Jacks. They actually had water damage to them. And Billy, BT Heat Restoration, said, you know what, if you want them, you could take them. They were customers. And I guess a pipe bust in his house. And he's like, yo, I mean, I already paid him for them. And so if you want them, you can have them. So I ended up getting them for like really inexpensive because they were damaged. And I was going to dye them anyways at that point. So I ended up dyeing them a purple Friends and Family color of the Cactus Jacks, the 4s. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. Dyeing is like probably one of the most difficult things you can do when it comes to customizing. Should have a little bit of experience or test out on some beaters, man, before you guys jump into customizing those. But the reason I was saying that is because I had a baby blue pair of Cactus Jacks, and when you got a baby blue pair that's pretty light color, you can then dye them to be a different color, but you want to dye them where they're darker, not lighter. So rule of thumb on suede dye is get a lighter base, and then you can only go usually either a darker color or somewhere close to that color that you have. So like if I had tried to do maybe like, say for example, like a violet on that baby blue, that might have worked. I don't know. You know, you would have to test it out. But at that point, I really wanted the F&F Cactus Jacks. And I already knew I'm not spending like 20 G's on them, so I said might as well take advantage of the damaged pair that Billy has. So shout out Billy, man. Billy hooked me up. There we go. We're looking pretty good, guys. I feel like this might need just maybe one more layer, you know, because I could still see. Can you all see that? Can you all see like some parts seeping through? So I might need like a layer or two, maybe two at most, to knock that out. Okay. And real quick, just want to say what's up to the Dye Lab, bro. You won again? Dye Lab, man. I think this is just good karma for you, bro. I think you won one of the last giveaways as well, man. So congratulations, Dye Lab. Jackie Paper, what's good, homie? How you living? So Dye Lab won the first giveaway. He said, "Aw, damn, I won again." I don't think you're the first dude that's won something, and it sounds like you're upset about it, man. Congrats, man. You won fair and square, dude. You entered the raffle, so you're good to go. Who else we got? I'm traumatized from dyeing sock liners, man. Don't do it ever. Man, I'll tell you guys something about dyeing sock liners, man. I've seen some people use like actual like Angelus suede dye to dye their sock liners. I'm really worried for those people, man, because that dye, if you dye it too much, you know, you're gonna have excess dye on your sock liner, and wait till that person drops. Wait till that person drops their shoes on, and they got some white socks on, and you dyed their sock liner black or red or some other color, man. You're in a heap of you're gonna be in a heap of trouble. You know, it's just, you know, it's not a good look when you got a customer who hits you back up and says, "Yo, man, like my whole damn sock is full of dye because you didn't know what you were doing." So, you know, my tendency on dyeing sock liners now is very minimal. I don't dye red sock liners anymore, for example. I've tried to dye red sock liners like black even, and after some time what ends up happening is the sock liner will you know, because you're putting your foot in and out of it, that black dye will eventually start to dissipate. And when it does, guess what you see? You end up seeing that same original color that you had underneath, which was like a red, and it just sucks, you know, because then you're like, damn, do I redo what I just did and do it again, knowing that it's gonna happen again? Or, you know, there's so many different things that go through my head. So now I notice that, yo, if it's something that like is going to be annoying to do, redo over and over and over, I just tell the customer, I'm like, yo, man, like I'll do it for you, but I'm just letting you know that it's gonna do this, and if you're cool with that, then I'm cool with that. If you're not cool with that, then I'm just not gonna do it. So stay away from red sock liners if you're trying to paint red sock liners. Stay away from leather dyes. I mean, I've seen people do it. I don't know. If you want to try leather dyes, it's all good. But I would go the route of either using like Dynaflow, or they have a Jacquard airbrush. That's really thin paint, and it goes on really well. It applies well. Or using Angelus and GAC 900. That's another option. You just got to remember to use a heat gun to set that. And I've noticed that with that method, you'll still feel a little bit of texture too. So, you know, even though it'll change the color, you might have a little bit of change in texture. For the airbrush artists out there, I never throw these used Q-tips away. I keep these guys all in a little secondary dirty pile. And I do that because I can reuse these to clean. I noticed how many Q-tips I was using. I'm like, damn, I'm using a lot of Q-tips to clean my airbrush out. And so instead of using that and cleaning my airbrush out with the clean ones all the time, I use the dirty ones first. All right, so just a pro tip, man, if you guys have an airbrush or if you're interested in getting one. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna move on. You guys can see that this is starting to dry, so I might as well jump into the top portion here. I've got that also looking to be an orange, so I just used some cotton balls. Mind you, my cotton balls suck. I got them from 99-cent store, so be conscious about your cotton balls, because if you get the wrong kind like I just did, they leave all these hair marks, and that sucks, dude, you know? All right, so like, same thing, same process, guys. I'm gonna dip in, and I notice that the mist that I'm using here, it's starting to dry up a little bit. So knowing when you can use your paints and when not to use your paints is definitely clutch, man. I don't want to use, you know, some really gunky looking paint and then it comes out looking gunky on the actual shoes. Okay. So like you see how this looks? It's looking like really thick, gunky. And even though I wanted to cover, I don't want it to cover the wrong way. So let me do this. I'm going to grab a little bit of Too Thin. Okay. And just like I told you before, if the paint feels like it's going to dry or you need it to water down a little bit, I just add a couple of drops of Too Thin. And what Too Thin will do is help me water it down a little bit. Okay. So obviously we've got to mix that up a little bit. Again, y'all notice I'm not using any masking tape. I'm just going at it. And then that way I can actually see what I'm painting. Legacy said the supplier told me it was okay. Oh man, yeah, and that's a whole different story. Legacy, if the supplier tells you something, yeah, it's almost like they're taking responsibility for like your mess up, even though I'm sure they won't pay you for your shoe. But yeah, that's a real pain in the butt, man. Now I could feel the paints a little bit more thinner, so it's applying a nice even coat, and I don't feel like it's looking too bulky or clumpy or anything. Again, if you feel like it looks a little clumpy, just add a little bit more paint on top of it. You know, especially if you put a little bit of too thin in your paint, and then that'll water down the whole section there. It'll basically make that section wet again, and then you can, you know, if you need to wipe off some paint or do whatever you need to do. But here I can see that there's perforations, there's holes in there, and you don't want to lose those holes. If you lose the holes, that means you applied paint too thick. And I don't want to restart. That would mean I'd have to use a Q-tip and take off all this paint again to restart. I'm just trying to recover all of the holes here. There we go. I could see them all there. Can y'all see them? All right, so there we go. So see what Ralph just said. He said, yeah, I tell my customers first. Because, like, look, guys, if you're going to have a customer who has all these requests, and, you know, I know I used to do this all the time. I used to get a customer, and I was so eager to have the customer and give them a quote, and we're talking back and forth, and everything seems so great. And back then, it was just my beginning of starting to customize shoes. So when you get an inquiry, you're just super happy and super excited, and you want to please the customer. But y'all got to realize that you're the artist, so you need to give your sound advice. And if that means the customer doesn't want to listen and says, yo, you don't know what you're talking about, or if you don't want to do it, I'll get somebody else to do it. Let somebody else do it, man, because you're gonna end up doing it, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass. Because what's gonna happen is, as an example, like they wanted their soles painted, but the soles are made of rubber, and now you painted them because you told them, all right, I'll do it, and then the rubber soles start chipping. They're gonna call you back up. They're gonna say, yo, you told me that you can do this, but the soles are chipping. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen rubber soles that are all chipped up. Man, they're a nightmare to look at. So I'm very straightforward with all my customers now. If it's something that I feel like I can't do or it's not possible to do, I just say, yo, that's not possible. Or it's possible, but I'm not gonna do it. And I'm not gonna do it because the paint's gonna be compromised. So just some food for thought, As much as I wanted money and I wanted the customer, I want happy customers. You want customers that you can retain. And a lot of the times, if they're already giving you a hard time in the beginning, do you really want that customer, man? Like a pain in the ass customer like that? They're going to just be writing you the whole time. When's my custom done? Where are you at? Da 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 da. Like that's not your ideal situation. As much as I love money, I'd rather save the headache. All right, guys. Again, I'm just going side to side here, just getting those edges. Using my pinky just here for leverage. That way, I have some stability, some control. Y'all see that? Using that pinky, man. I'm telling y'all, you get that pinky right, puts you in a different ball game. I'm excited to see what these are going to look like at the end. And I'm happy that we're already getting to this part where we're painting, because I didn't know if I masked off and had to airbrush this stuff. It would have taken a little bit. I think both ways though would be somewhere along the same line when it comes to time. Alright, again, I gotta look for these holes. Cannot let the holes get filled in with the paint, okay? So as I run through it, I'm just swiping, real swipes, soft swipe, soft swipe, trying to recover those holes. And I'm gonna just clean this guy off a little bit, okay? Recognize when it's getting too hard, guys. If the bristles are getting too hard, it's gonna affect what it looks like at the end. I'm gonna dry it off. There you go, so I'll dry it again. Oh, why are you guys not entering the giveaways, man? You two people, are you guys seeing that we're doing a giveaway right now? It's weird. Y'all don't like free stuff or what? Don't be that weird person on the date, okay? Get some free stuff, y'all. Flight school, you still there, man? You were telling me you missed the last one. I couldn't tell you we're having a second one. We are. Just creeping underneath these little lace holes, guys. They're not really difficult to paint, but you just gotta be careful not to paint underneath and all over the place here. All right. I'm like pushing down the panel as I'm like stroking the paint on it there, so that way I don't get behind these lace holes. The good thing is, we're gonna be tying this all up, so it's technically it doesn't need to be like perfectly painted, but you still want to do your best to paint it right. Alright, y'all, so I think this is good. We're doing good, man. We're making progress, right? Don't you love it when you feel progress? There we go. So all this time you guys have been masking all this stuff off, and you didn't have to. Haven't touched a piece of masking tape yet, guys. Alright, so this is kind of drying out now, so let's give it some time, okay? I'm going to give both sides a little bit of time to dry. So people were asking me like, yo, you don't use a heat gun. Yeah, I don't use a heat gun, but I do like to give it some ample time to dry every now and again, We put a layer on both sides there, okay? So, let's see. Andres, what's good, man? How you doing? We're doing a raffle, buddy. So if you want to join, you can win some free stuff. That's always fun. Let's jump onto the Jumpman here. A lot of people ask me, how do you paint this Jumpman? And so I can see here, this brush it's a little thick, but I can get away with it. If you feel like this might be a little too thick, you can jump onto a smaller brush. Got like a 10-0. What else is this? I know I got a bunch of small 5-0. All these smaller brushes you can use as well. These are again by Princeton Select. Excellent brushes. They work with acrylic paints. So 100% I recommend these guys. These are spotters and round petites. Anything with a petite usually means it's super, super thin, which is great. Oh no! Oh, thank God I didn't spill it on the custom. All right, so let's jump into just painting that Jumpman while the other parts are drying a little bit. Now there's different ways that people like to paint this Jumpman, and for me, what I like to do is just make sure that the paint that I'm using is thin enough, which I think I just added some too thin in there, but not a bad idea to add a little bit more to get it thin. Okay, and I'm going to use the same method, which is basically trying to get the color, this black thread, to come out a little bit. So let's go ahead and jump into using that same mist. And let's see, maybe can I put this up a little bit so you guys could see a little bit better? You guys good with that? I know a lot of people use GAC and this and that with this. I prefer to just go in with regular paint. And I do that because if you thin it out enough, most people will not notice the difference. I like to kind of get the outer edges first, like all of the outline of the Jumpman, and then paint on the inside. And that's just my preference. You don't necessarily have to. But you know, I kind of feel like you know, when they say don't color outside the lines, I feel like I just kind of set myself boundaries when I got all of the outsides already taken care of. And the important thing about this is that as I'm running through the threads, I'm putting the paint on the actual Jumpman, but as I put it on, I'm making sure that I could still see the threads running through, okay? You don't want to get it too clumpy. You get it too clumpy, then it's going to look all messed up and nasty, you know what I mean? Let's try to keep it nice and thin. And part of the reason I use that too thin is it just kind of helps water down the beginning of it, you know? Watch as I just kind of run through this Jumpman real quick. Once you get good at these, man, these are not very difficult to do. But I remember when I first started with these Jumpmans, oh man, it was a nightmare, you know? Just because you're just not experienced, you know, you don't have the confidence that you feel like you should have. You've never really done them. And, you know, I definitely don't go as fast when I was new. Just so concerned about the paint and how it's laying down. Now y'all see that I'm just, I probably did this in less than 5 minutes. The too thin is what is making the paint kind of seep into the thread here. And that's what I want. I want the first layer to kind of seep in. It'll help lock into the actual Jordan Jumpman too, you know? So things like his finger, I might want to use a smaller brush because it's so small, the finger section. And then his laces are so small. Y'all see the laces kind of flinging out. Oh man, Dylab, thank you so much, man. We just got a tip from the homie Dylab. Dylab, thank you. $25 tip. That's amazing. How come we don't hear no sounds, Speed Infusion? Huh. These are going to be awesome looking, and I'm done without threes. Thank you, Capo. Is it Capo or Capo? Capo. Capo. bet you it's Capo. Capovelli. Capovelli, that's a dope name. Reminds me of Machiavelli. Alright, just going back in and softening up the brush again. This is nice for you guys to see a live feed and see how quickly things get done, you know? I broke it. Yeah, right, I broke it, dude. This is kind of like meditation, Andres. I like the feeling, the soothing feeling of painting, man. It's certainly a de-stressor, I think, for a lot of people. I like to sometimes angle the Jumpman as well. Like, for example, I'm doing this other side of his leg. So as I do that, you know, you move the shoe around to get the best angle for it. Mind you, I'm running through this a little quickly. I probably take a little bit more time than I am doing today. Now I've gotten pretty much the Jumpman covered up, guys. It's awesome. As I'm running through the Jumpman, guys, I like to have like a top-down kind of view when I'm painting. If I'm doing it like this, then I have opportunity to see exactly where the paints kind of fall. Makes things easier. Just a preference again, you know, like if you got your own way, you got your own way, but I like to leave it like that. Remember, we're still looking for that thread. The thread shouldn't be disappearing on you guys. Almost done here, guys. Just gotta knock out his laces and his fingers, right? Just got two things to do. So I'll probably get one of the thinner brushes to do that. Ooh, a little bit over there. It's okay. Alright, y'all. That looks pretty much filled in. I think this is good enough for us to drop some orange on it. Just get some little barren spots here, like his head still looks a little blacked out. See? His fingers, I still gotta get his fingers. I could probably do it. Let's see. Oh, I got it. Dope. Sometimes getting the fingers is a little difficult. You know, if you don't have the right tool there. Just real delicate with it there. Just got a little over there. Well, we could fix that. It's no biggie. Alright, I think I'm done here. Oh, laces. Almost forgot his laces. Let's get his laces real quick, then we'll be done. Cool. We got one lace here. It's got a second lace right there, so it doesn't help that this brush is kind of split up now. Need to get new brushes there. Cool. There we go. Ron Customs, what's good, man? How you doing? I can see you're a little late, man. All good. We're working on some shattered backboard 3s today. One of my buddies wanted to do a pair for himself, so we're working on shattered backboard 3s. He wanted to do it for his kids' team. It's called the Hawk Hoops. So that's where we're at right now. And this is, at least I thought this was a good introduction to just making your first custom if you've never done a custom before. So I know I did get a little bit of paint on some little edges there. It's not too bad. So I'm going to just let it dry. I'm not going to go freaking out over it yet. We can always fix those things later on. Now I'm going to just clean the brush up one more time. We got to get to the painting the top orange a little bit, right? So at this point I've used a lot of acetone. There's a lot of paint and stuff. Let me dump this. And then I'm going to just put some brand new acetone in there. Again, I mentioned to you guys I have a lot of Q-tips that I use that are just kind of trash Q-tips. This is a good time for me to just clean out anything on the bottom. All this excess paint here. You know, just because I don't want to have a bunch of nastiness on the bottom and then mixing it over and over and over. It's not going to make for a good custom, see? So that's good. That's cleaned out. Let's add a little acetone now so we're ready to go. And I think we need to add a little bit more orange onto this upper. So let's jump onto that. You guys good so far? Everybody okay? We can see okay. I know the sound's good now, right? Let me know if you guys are having any issues with audio or anything, in fact. I want to make sure this experience is good for you guys. It's enjoyable. You guys are learning, hopefully. If you're not learning, hopefully you're just chilling and having a good time, man. It's a good day. It's a good day to paint. See how quickly that ran through? I love the fact that I could see the holes still. It's awesome. Grab just a little bit of paint. We're going to do the edge here. Knock that out in one swoop. Swoop, swoop. There we go. Now, one thing I want to tell you guys, we mentioned this a little bit, the brush strokes. Some people will get frustrated with the brush strokes because they're like, yo, I'm doing what you told me to do. I'm moving the paintbrush around lightly and the brush strokes are still there. So this is just an important note for you guys to get rid of the brush strokes, is that the paint, you got to see how the paint is in the status of where it's drying. If it's still like really, really watery and not drying yet, you could wish wash that paint around as much as you want to, but it's not going to dry until it hits this certain state, okay? And if I can show you guys what that state is in this tutorial, I will. But I think it's important to note that, because when I first started hand painting, man, I was having so many issues with just that. Just like, I'm like trying to figure out, like, why does everybody else not have paint strokes everywhere, but mine looks like terrible, you know? And it's because the paint has to be in this, almost like this state of like about to dry, but isn't dry yet. And then you have to actually take action. Okay, so like if I do this right now, like I just put down paint, it's not going to dry immediately. I got to give it a little bit of time to show that it's drying. And then once I see like, oh yeah, it's at that point of drying, then you start to eliminate the actual brush strokes. There we go. See? You can just feel it. Like I have a feeling of it. And it's more of, I've been doing this so many times that I have an idea of like when the paint will dry. You may not in the beginning, and that's okay. It's a learning experience for you guys. I'm not going to say for everybody, because I know there's a lot of customizers here, a lot of artists here, and they know what they're doing. First layer down, guys. Adam, what's good? Apple Man in the building. Capo. Ding, 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 bro. That was a miss that we hit with a First layer there, exactly. We hit it with mist because in that way that orange will pop a little bit more, okay? If I had laid down the orange first, I don't know, it'd probably be like 6, 7, 8 layers of orange that I'd have to lay down to get that same effect. I'd rather lay down like one coat of mist, which is like a primer. If you ever painted a house or a room, they always get primer first, and primer is usually like a grayish color. Even with cars, if you ever paint a car, they have gray and they have a yellow primer as well. But the whole point of the primer is just to block and seal everything and be a good enough coat to adhere with paint. That's the whole purpose of the primer. It's supposed to be that intermediate step so your paint can last, it'll be durable. Again, thin around the threads, okay? Not too much paint, just thin around the threads. Don't want it to look all clumpy. If there's one section that you're going to have it clumpy, it would probably be here, though. If you had to choose. Because at least the laces will cover it up. But ideally, you don't want to have any clumps. Cool, guys. So now, man, we're doing well. We're zipping through most of the custom. This is great. Again, I want to make sure that you can see the perforated holes. And the only way that's going to happen is if you guys painted light layers there, okay? If they're not light enough, they're going to all fill in because this paint is pretty thick. It can fill in those holes, and then those holes are all gone. And good luck trying to recover them. At that point, it's a wrap. There we go. How we looking, guys? How are you guys doing? You guys been working hard out there or hardly working? How you guys like that? So far so good? Cool. I gotta take a quick break, man. I've been on that for a minute, so let me answer some questions. I don't know if you guys have been asking questions, but I definitely gotta check the feed real quick. Ron Custom says, also, Angela's paint is mostly fluorescent, so a lot of colors need some drops of white, along with needed more coats than others. Exactly, yeah. Ron, we discussed that a little bit earlier, too, that usually you need to have like a light white layer base if you're ever doing any kind of fluorescence. And if you're hand painting them, it's a little bit more difficult to hand paint these fluorescents by themselves because they get streaky. They're very like... how do they say, translucent, meaning you can kind of see through them and you can see the base. So you want to, like, for example, if you're doing like a sun tropic yellow, then you want to look for something like its pal, which would be like a pale yellow. See that? Like, it's not exact, but it's pretty close. This one certainly pops more than the pale yellow does. Okay? Let me see if I can give y'all another example, like, for example, this sunset yellow here. Let me see if I have anything. I almost want to say that, nah, the tangerine would probably be a little... See, this tangerine would be too dark. It's darker than the original color. So you might want to even mix, like, for example, white and this tangerine to get somewhere close to this. I don't have... I guess I got something close. I mean, I've got some things that are close here, but not anything that's an exact. Let's see, we got buttercup, for example. See, that's even too dark. So you might have to add some white into it if you don't have it. I've got mustard, but again, I think mustard is caramel. Let's see, caramel. Caramel is still on the darker, duller side. You don't want that base layer to look dull, you know what I mean? That's caramel. So even like a caramel and a white would go with that. So, all right. So hopefully that answers that question there. We got a new winner. Let's go. J Will XII has won your choice of laces. Congratulations, J Will. Webb's Custom Kicks, he's got something to say. Use light gray paint for a base when I'm painting light color on top of dark colors. Exactly. Yeah, so it's kind of the, I guess that's the underlying lesson for today, guys, because a lot of us, we don't, we don't paint a lot of black shoes, but if you ever do, now you know what you got to do, okay? Let me clean up, because I got to clean up. It looks like I might have put my finger in the Jumpman. So again, you see that Jumpman, you see the smudge. I'm not going to paint that. I'm going to take some little bit of acetone, a little Q-tip, and we'll just go ahead and erase it off. Just like an eraser would now. Looking for any spots that I might have overdone here. And doing the same thing, just looking for little spots to erase. I gave him a little flat top. Jordan ain't got no flat top, bro. Who's that? That's Dominique Wilkins. Why I got Dominique on these Jordan 3s, bro? Why you got a flat top? You gotta take the flat top off. There we go. See, as I do this, now the paint's already seeped into the thread, so even if I'm kind of going over the thread when I do this, it's all good. The laces. Just gotta get good majority of that paint off. And the laces are smaller and thinner, so I'm gonna grab one of these precise Q-tips. I like the precise ones because they, you could use them like an actual pencil. Form the shapes. Also got to remember you can only use it like once though, okay? See, once you're done with it, then you got to flip to the other side. Otherwise you're going to wish-wash a bunch of paint around everywhere. Don't want that to happen, okay? Yo, Appleman, of course, man. Adam, you can play with the Oculus, bro. Should be right there. That's my little nephew. He's watching, and he'll watch for like 5 seconds and be like, man, this guy is boring as hell. I don't even understand how he has viewers. And then he goes and plays his little video games. There we go. Dope. So that cleaned that all up. Now it's clean. Let's clean up the brush and we'll jump on that Jumpman real quick. You put your paintbrushes down, Dalab? You need a break, man, right? Yo, thanks, Appleman. I appreciate you, doggy. We're almost done here. I think this might be a good ending point once we get this Jumpman done, guys. I think we've been on for about 2 hours. Oh man, a little over 2 hours. Crazy. Jason, how you doing, man? I'm doing fantastic, man. Glad to see you guys are all here. We got a lot of viewers here. Unfortunately, Facebook didn't go through today. Not sure what happened with Facebook. Mark's over there hating. Zuck's over there hating. Come on, Zuck. Give your people a chance to learn, dog. How you doing, Jason? Everything good, man? You out there living your best life or what? Again, guys, top down, okay? So I'm trying to put it on right on top of this Jumpman. I'm not angling it. I'm trying to go like this. And I'm seeing that maybe I could have added another layer of mist. Let's see if we can get away with it. Just a side note, man, the shattered backboards are like some of my favorite kicks. And when I used to show my car, I even painted it like a Lamborghini Gallardo orange color. It's very similar to this color. So I'm very fond of this color, man. Certainly one of my favorite colors, especially like when it's like this time of season. Nice to have some bright colors on, right? Match your fits up nice. Now I'm trying to get at the edges here. I think I told you guys before I like to get the edges first usually. That way I try to stay inside the lines. Sometimes I break my own rules. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all going to be painted orange anyways, right? Just got to have some kind of a system worked out. Whew, man. All right, guys, this is going to be I'm going to be wrapping up here. Speed Infusion, did you just do another giveaway, bro? Because if you did, I just needed to get going after this. I think right now, what do we have? 2 winners. I know Dialab won, and then we just had another winner as well. So congratulations to both winners, man. I'm glad to see that we can reward you guys for coming in and not only learning, but then we can give you guys something that's sneaker related too. So if you guys need laces, man, don't forget to hit us up. Shopfeelgood.com. It's the business. This might need another layer, guys. I could see, you guys can see that in the middle. Look at, looks like a dude's getting an x-ray. On plastic lace holes, you could just scratch off the paint when it's dry. Or you could use acetone, either one. Just clean it off. There we go. I'm going to give that a little bit of a chance to dry, guys. I don't want to clump up the paint there, okay? So just so you guys know. Ron Customs, man, you just missed that tutorial, that exact tutorial you're talking about. I want to learn how to get better with portraits on shoes. I was just showing them, because I'm doing a portrait of this young lady here on, and it's super small, man, so this is going to replace a swoosh. You can see we're doing portraits of a young lady here. Let me show you what the young lady looks like, so then that way you have some kind of basis for comparison. If I still have it up, dope. Here's a picture of the young lady, bro, so then that way you could check it out. Sorry about the light. There she is. There is her again. And then this is the version that I worked on with you guys in the last tutorial. So we're pretty close to getting all 3 of them to look pretty similar, man. Let's see if I could put that up a little bit. Gotta work on her face a little bit to get it down, but I got the skin tones kind of down now. And just so you know, yeah, man, if you want to take a look, it's under the replays under live for portraits, bro. So definitely something that you can learn. Also, if you are a customizer and you're looking to learn a little bit heavier stuff, you know, we're doing reconstructions and things like that on Patreon, and that's patreon.com/feelgoodthreads. Man, we got a lot of Patreon folks in here right now, so yeah, I think they'll vouch for me that they've been learning there, you know. The Dye Lab, man, that's a great question, dude. He said, so does anybody else stop breathing when doing fine details, or is it just me? Bro, that's everybody. Everybody like starts the same way with these customs, and that's like, you're like super nervous to get, you know, a detail down. So yeah, man, don't stress about that, Dye Lab. I think that as you continue to go, man, eventually, and this is what I did. I'm like, dude, this is just paint. Like, why the hell am I getting so freaking nervous over paint? Like, if I mess up, I could just paint over it. You know, it's like whiteout. So like, why am I stressing myself over it? So I think it's just gonna take you time. Alan, and you'll get there, man. But like, look at me today, dude. I'm over here live today, doing this whole custom for you guys, and yeah, I messed up a couple of times. That's just being human, I guess. But I stopped thinking about it so much, and I think that's because it just after some time, you need to just mentally tell yourself, hey man, this is just paint. Paint's not gonna defeat me. I'm gonna breathe today. I'm gonna breathe. Because I used to do it too. So don't feel any type of way that you're doing that. It's a very normal habit, and I think a lot of customizers still go through that even as they're intermediate and progressing and getting better at what they're doing. Hopefully that helped you out a little bit, Alan. I'll give you a little bit of confidence. Side note, guys, we've got Princeton brushes on the way, so we're going to be doing a giveaway for that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, man, I would love for you guys to subscribe. We're going to get some nice brushes for you guys. It's pretty much the same brushes I use. I'm going to try to get the same brushes, so then that way, if you guys are into customizing, or if you guys want to learn, you'll have the right tools. Cool? Cool. Excellent. Getting around these little lace holes is kind of a hassle, but gotta get it done. Get her done. Alright. Now we're starting to look shattered backboardish. I need to give this another coat. So imagine I'm about 2 hours in and still working on the first shoe. I could certainly work faster, guys. It's just I want to be careful too, you know? It's the labor of love is what they say. You want to make sure that your product is quality product, right? How many of you guys are out there and saying, I'm going to make a shitty product today? Probably none of you, right? Now that layer is starting to really fill in nice, and I don't have any issues with the layer underneath it, the black showing. There's no black base showing anymore. This is about the time where it starts to dry up, and I'll start to very lightly coat anything that I see that might give me some potential issues. It's good, right? Let me just get that other side one more time, and then I've got to dip out of here, guys. Got some family over here. I don't want to be rude. All he does is sit in his little man cave and paint all day. What a loser. Love seeing the coat finally fill in and look even and nice. The threads don't have any like bristles or extra stuff hanging off of them. That's great news. If you paint them too heavy, they'll have like all kinds of gunk on them, and that makes them look so bad, in my opinion. Like, it just very it's more of a beginner's kind of a custom, you know what I mean? So, whew, man. That white Warhawk picks, man, that's actually right behind me. This one right here, bro. Let me show you. It's funny you say that, because I just put an off-white belt on it. Check this out. It's a brand new belt. Let me make sure I ain't got no paint on there. But so now I can actually use it as, see, as a, I didn't have one of these straps before, and so I thought let me see if I could add that on there. And it's a lot more convenient than like holding it by this, man. Holding this sucks because it's, you know, if you got a lot of heavy stuff in there, it's a real pain, man. It really is. So let me show you guys one more thing real quick. Where is it at? Here it is. So this is going to be the next tutorial, guys, on Patreon. Again, we're just filming it, so we got a little bit more to go. We're going to finish filming on Thursday, and we'll have these guys edited for you guys and ready to go. So if you're interested in learning how to do like reconstruction work, this is going to be an introduction to how to do recon work on toe boxes, how to do recon work on the sides as well. You know, these guys, I don't know who this person was on Etsy, man. They blew these away. It was, the work on these was horrendous, yo. So I had to fix the Nike in the back. Look at what the Nike looked like in the back, yo. They send this back like this to the customer. Brand new Air Force Ones. You could see that I don't know if they're using paint or dye or whatever the hell they're using. It's completely coming off. Look at the bottom here. Completely coming off. The front end was all like, you can see that they're all fraying at the ends. I finally broke this one apart. It was all fraying at the ends. And so here not only am I showing you guys how to redo somebody's work, but we're also going to teach you guys how to do a reconstruction at the same time. So again, that's on patreon.com/feelgoodthreads. It's about $6 a month, about a cup of coffee if you guys are interested in joining. I'd love for you guys to join, man, because if you guys enjoy what we did today, then this is just that next level of learning and creativity. The bag that I just showed you guys, we're working on editing the bag as well, so you will learn how to make that bag soon. So we got some pretty dope things coming on the Patreon channel. I did see that we had some more people asking questions, so let me just check up real quick. Time is 7:54, so I gotta let you guys go at 8 o'clock, okay? I got about 6 minutes left here. And let me see. Alexander, how you doing, man? I'm not sure if I missed you or not, but I do want to say what's good. How are you? Yeah, I think I did miss you, man, so I'm glad I caught that. Let's see what else we got here. Ralph Furley said yes, LOL. I'm not sure what it was for. When you do detailed work, you have to learn how to control your breathing. I agree with that. You know, there's because like when you're doing detailed work, it's almost like you can't budge in the wrong spot. You know what I mean? Because if you budge in the wrong spot, you might mess up the whole thing. Like for example, when I was working on these little ladies here, you know, just making her eyes, you know, they're so small, her lips, and just adding like a little bit of shine on her lips with white paint is difficult to do. What else? You know, having her hold the sign with her little fingernails, her hair, the shades, the different colors and shades that I have to put on her skin that makes it look like there's light coming from this side versus the dark coming from this side. So there's a lot of breathing is just one thing. Let's put it that way when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? Okay, who else we got here? Let's see. Alexander, man, anytime, dude. Alexander Yee, he's on YouTube, said thanks for your live YouTube videos are such a stress relief. Awesome, man. Thank you. That's awesome to hear that you feel that way, man. Because that's how I feel. You know, if I'm not here with you guys, I'm doing it anyways, so I might as well do it in front of you guys, with you guys, you know. And a lot of the times, you know, I'm human and I mess up, and this is like my time to show you guys that, you know, all the stuff you see on my YouTube videos, yo, I mean, there's hours of work that sometimes we'll put into a video, and then we'll chop it up into like 10 minutes, dude. And so we have to squeeze the best parts of it, the most valuable parts for you guys, and there's a lot of messing up that comes within those hours of filming. You know what I mean? It's part of the process. So I just think that I want to show you guys that customizing is not easy. It's not a walk in the park. A lot of people think like, yo, why is this dude charging like $2 to do a custom? And it's like, you guys got to see that if somebody's doing this full time and this is their job, it'd be like you going to work and somebody saying like, why should we give you $2 today to do your job? We should give you less, you know? You'd probably argue with that too, right? So glad to hear, Alexander, that you're improving and you're learning, man. So, and yeah, see, like what Recon J said, man, he said we improve by learning from mistakes. I've improved so much from learning from my own mistakes. It's crazy. It's when you do a mistake and you don't take from it and you don't, actually learn from it and you just do it again. That's when you're messing up. You're not giving yourself an opportunity. So I've got 2 minutes, guys. Open to any feedback, any questions, anything that you guys got. Sorry if we didn't finish the last raffle up. Don't worry, I'll get you guys on the next one. Let's see who else we got. That white Warhawk pixel. Okay, so we talked about that. I was just scrolling through your Facebook page. Thanks, Ron. I appreciate that, man. That was like we were just talking about hours of work. That bag took me months and months and months to do, just painting in pixel after pixel. I had to figure out a different strategy to make it faster. And it still was not fast, you know what I mean? So anyways, let's see. Anybody else available? Oh, Dialab. How is Dialab won again, bro? Nah, it's not rigged, dude, because we have like an actual raffle, like automated generating bot, bro. Unless you're paying the bot off. What are you paying him off in like oil? I'll give you new buttons, bot, if you choose me again. But let's talk Dialab. So I got 2 winners here real quick before I let you guys go. I know for sure that Dialab is 1 winner. Let me see who my other winner is. I'm just scrolling up. I've been going through so much stuff here. I didn't get a chance to... I know I thanked him. I know I thanked you, bro. Oh, here we go. J Will. J Will, you still with us, bro? If you are, can you please... both you guys, please DM me on IG. J Will. Yeah, thanks, man. I see it. Speed Infusion, thank you again, man. I appreciate you for being on the whole time. J Will, if you can please send me a DM. Let me know that you were watching and that you won, and I'll take care of you. Alan, Alan, I'm going to call you the leprechaun of the group, man, because you keep winning. We're going to have to ban Alan on the next giveaways, man. No, I'm teasing, man. So, yeah, hit me up on Instagram. Again, guys, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, we've got a new backup account. It's Feel Good Threads LA. I'd really, really appreciate you guys for coming back through and following me. Obviously, we've got more giveaways on the way. Princeton brushes. We've got LK coats, scratch resistant sealers coming up. I've got sunglasses to give away. I haven't given away sunglasses. Next giveaway, I'm going to start with some Gooder sunglasses. I've got 3 pairs to give away from the good guys at Gooder. My good friends at Gooder. They're going to give me some sunglasses, so I'm going to give them away for you guys. I think it's a great time. Spring and summertime is here, and we're finally out of this whole quarantine mess, so you guys can rock some stunners, With that said, my name is Suhail with Feel Good Threads. Social medias are all here up at the top. If you guys appreciated this tutorial, we're going to continue the tutorial next time. We've got to do some smaller things. I've got to do these in orange here, so we've got to finish these up. Whole different technique we're going to use on that. I've got to add the logo right here, and we've also got to add a little number right here as well. So we got a ways to go. Obviously, I didn't finish up the Jumpman. This is what happens when you didn't add enough white or gray. You can start to see the black seep through. So that's just for those of you that are still learning. Try to get a nice full coat before you lay any nice bright colors down like we did today. If you guys have any extra funds to donate, man, always appreciative of all the funds that we can get just to make this channel, a better experience for you guys. I do, even if it's $1 or $2, it's just love. I do want to give a special shout out to the Dye Lab. Thank you, Dye Lab. You did donate $25 today. Speed Infusion, did we get Dye Lab on this list right here of people? Oh yeah, there you go. There he goes right there. Sweet, cool. So that's been updated. Obviously, I appreciate all of the donations, especially with the Instagram being down right now. This is kind of like my one way of making some income. So thank you guys again for watching, man. You guys are the best, man. Fees G, peace. Ralph, peace. Ron Customs, peace. Andres, great to see you again, man. Absolutely. And I'll see you guys again this week. And I'll try to make it, it's Monday today, either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.